Hello everyone, welcome to another special edition of Dandadan. And what's so special? Well, another chapter is out. So this week's chapter was a lot of action, but has some really nice lore building and character building for, of all people, Sakata and the Kurbaddy? I don't know why I keep calling her that. Probably gonna get canceled one of these days. So if you're here for weekly Dandadan content, well, my friend, this is the place for you. Subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment on your thoughts and theories for Dandadan this week. Alright, so much to my suspicion, we are seemingly taking turns from focusing on Aira, Rin, and Koki to Sakata and Okarun, and yeah, they're going through some stuff here. Namely, being chased by Hase and the Kurbaddy. And our first spread for this week was, well, also really good too. We get our first visual of Hase in his yokai form, which is, it's just so cool to look at. I mean, his legs are jacked and his upper torso just looks so horrific, but also really cool. And honestly, he gives off Okarun's yokai form vibes too. And I wonder if that was intentional, because Hase wants to be Okarun in a sense. Like, he wants to hang out with Momo and have everyone fun over him like he thinks everyone is doing for Okarun. More and more, I'm sort of getting a suspicion that Hase is maybe misunderstanding a few things, but we'll get to that in a moment. So to finish off my previous thought, this was yet another great spread. Maybe I should do a tier list for the spreads that we've gotten in all of Dandadan so far. That would be really fun for a live or something like that. So Hase drop kicks Okarun into a wall, only for Sakata's airbags to deploy and save Okarun, though. Let's be real, we've seen so many characters slammed into walls, namely Momo, in like the very first arc and survive, so not sure if any of that was even needed. I thought that was pretty funny, but I also love how Sakata tells Okarun to just shut the hell up when he points this out. Like Sakata, seriously, he is like one of those characters that you often see. He's you know, the funny fat guy, but what legitimizes him is that he's insanely useful. Maybe the most crafty of the dum-de-dums. In a way, he's sort of like MacGyver, which, if you don't know, was this super old TV show where this guy, MacGyver, would use like gum, twigs, and lotion to somehow create like a mega nuclear bomb or something like that. So, you know, Sakata really does, he feels like he's MacGyver coded, which is really entertaining if you think about it. So Okarun points out that they need to find Koki, but Sakata knows that the threat in front of them is what they need to focus on. This shows that Sakata thinks more tactically about things than maybe Okarun does, which makes sense. Each dum-de-dum has a strong suit, and Okarun probably isn't going to out Sakata. As for Hase and the Kurbaddy, however, Hase is noticing that using this form, this yokai form, really wears down his feet quite a bit, and on top of that, the Kur isn't in such a great spot either. She's finding the suit very hard to use and seemingly figure out. And on top of that, they're not even on the same page. Hase doesn't even care about taking Okarun's abilities and only wants to punish Okarun for, I guess, getting more attention than he does. And so Hase tells her to not get in his way. And guys, I'm hot take here, but I don't think Hase or the Kurbaddy are going to come out on top in this fight. I mean, Hase is just too much of a wild card driven by ego, and the Kurbaddy, well, is something else entirely. And we see that juxtaposed really well with Hase pointing at the Kur in the background, while Sakata is smothering Okarun in camaraderie, even if it's a bit overboard and ridiculous. On that merit alone, though, the fact they're so divided, I just don't think they're going to win this at all. Another factor is that Sakata really does hard carry in this chapter. He gives Okarun a mech suit made out of nanoskin, which looks really cool, and so does Sakata's. It's just a downsized version of what he used in a previous arc. But what I find hilarious is that Okarun is left half exposed with only his top and calves armored, while Sakata is in a freaking mech suit. So the Kurbaddy launches her attack against Okarun as he is able to dodge the thrust attack. Now, Okarun is very surprised at how effective this armor is, which is when it's revealed that Sakata, since the last battle, was actually figuring out ways to improve upon his design. It's just that he thought the best way to improve was to carry with him a paperweight, like Goku wearing extremely heavy shoes and clothes. Downside is now that the suit is downsized, he's feeling the weight of the suit, and it's pretty sluggish, so the paperweight wasn't really much of a help. He gets obliterated. I mean, it just goes to show that while Sakata is pretty smart in his own way, he still has a few things to learn. So in a really interesting twist that makes me think that my theory that the Kerr baddie is more protag than antag may actually come true. In the battle with Okaroon, Kerr mentions how, while she stole Okaroon's nut, Okaroon stole her reason for living, which if you think about it, I mean, they're kind of both reasons for living in a way. But turns out that the Kerr joined Haster to eventually work her way up the ranks and then kill him. And all of this was thwarted after 100 years, funnily enough, by Okaroon. So she's pretty angry and takes it out on Okaroon and the others. She sees the Dum-de-Dums as the very people who killed her people in a way. Because he was able to, if you think about it in some way, fool the Kerr into seeing that Okaroon was an equal to Haster, or like a continuation. So my theory is that the Kerr baddie really is suffering from this classic revenge plot. I mean, she's seeking revenge because she really has nothing else to live for, literally. So to her, revenge and anger is the only thing left that fuels and motivates her. It is her entire life, and in that, she is being manipulated and falling for every simple trick in the book. It's actually quite similar to Thorfinn and Askeladd in Vinland Saga, except instead of turning into a farmer, she just, keeps getting more and more angry and loses even more of herself to this pursuit of revenge. I think the big tell is when she screams at Okaroon, asking if he understands what she is suffering from, and I think that's key here. I think she just wants others to suffer the way that she has so that they can understand her mourning and rage. Why? Well, there are no other Kerrs that she can relate to. That's why. However, hearing all of this and feeling it, Okaroon is smart enough to know that the Kerr baddie is not their enemy, but she has one goal, and that is to kill Okaroon and then to die. And what we see is something that I'm sure will be very tragic in the next chapter. She loved someone. My theory, a little bit of a light take here, is that the Kerr baddie had a lover once, and when Haster killed him, that it was something that fueled her vengeance and bloodlust. She promised herself that she would kill everyone responsible for killing her hubby and her people. But once again, like Okaroon says, I think she needs to understand that because Okaroon did what he did to defend himself, just like she did, that they are more similar than they are foe. They really should unite together to take down the true evil, Count Saint Germain, because what he has been doing is dividing people and manipulating them all into fighting each other by preying upon and using their weakness. And this also confirms that, yeah, indeed, the Kerr baddie is likely to either become a good guy or a Dum-de-Dum herself, much in the same way that I view a character like Miss Adachi. We'll see though. Anything could happen, but I'm pretty hyped for the next couple of chapters, honestly. This arc has just been lots of action. I love it. So, join my Discord server where we talk about Dandadan, Chainsaw Man, anime, and just tons of really cool, awesome stuff. Let's get this video to 300 likes and 15 new subscribers. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.